it's been a very long time since I've done a deck profile, but I had a few requests to do that Swordsoul deck profile that I was playing against with Harrison on my last live duel. If you guys want to check that out, there'll be a link showing up, somewhere. Maybe this side or that side, doesn't matter. Jumping into the deck profile, of course I am starting with 3 Incredible Ecclesia. This card was glued to my hand that entire live duel, so I was just making sure I normaled her, then go into Moye, reveal the Swordsoul card in hand, and just kind of comboed off that way. Of course, after that I am playing 3 Moye, kind of standard Swordsoul package, of course. I go into a bunch of cool Synchro 8s with her. I mean, Chixiao is number 1. I play Borreload Savage, which is something a lot of people don't play. From what I've seen list-wise, I just know late game another Omni-Negate on top would be more pressure, that's why I play it. Next, of course, I play 3 Longyun. Longyun is the one that gets into the Baron play, it gets into the Qingying play. I know a lot of folks can't afford Baron or just, don't want to spend $100 for one card. Going into Qingying actually isn't too bad. Just kind of make a more simplified game, and then, of course, if you banish a card from graveyard, you can just banish a card on their side and in their graveyard. So for a while, you could just go Chixiao, Qingying, some back row perhaps, and then just kind of pass there. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Of course, Baron is a really good card, but I understand not everyone's just going to drop $100 for a card. Next, I play 2 Taya. Taya, of course, at 2 has just been perfect for me. Never needed it more, never needed it, I guess, less. 2s is perfect. And to finish up the Swordsoul package, of course, I'm playing 3 Swordsoul Emergence. The Rota for the deck, and of course if you control a Synchro monster, you can just add any worm monster, so you can add Protoss. The next I play the Monster Reborn, which is Sacred Summit. It comes up a lot. Most of the combos I did, I try to grab Summit and then extend with that. And to wrap it up, of course I'm playing 2 Blackout for the traps. And this card is nuts. Like, destroy a worm on your side, destroy 2 cards on their side. Perfect. I felt like this card was perfect to match with the Tenyi engine in the deck, so you can just kind of make Monk and then Baron and Chixiao, and then you can use Blackout to get rid of the Monk. And that's why I play Borreload Savage, because of the follow-up play, I can just get another Moye, and then I can go to Savage with 1 Negate ready, so another Omni-Negate ready to go. So that's it for the Swordsoul package. Let's go into the Tenyi package. So moving on to the Tenyi package, of course I'm playing 3 Ashuna. Ashuna is great because once it's in the graveyard and you control a non-effect monster, you can just banish it to get another extender out. You can get out your Adhara, and because it's a tuner, you can probably go into Synchro play depending what you have. You can go into Fishuda, and then once you get it in the graveyard, you can try to apply pressure and spin back one of your opponent's cards. Only drawback is you are locked into worms, but the deck and the extra deck is mostly worms, so it's not too big of a problem. Next up, I'm playing 2 Vishuda. Vishuda is great because if you control a non-effect monster, you can banish it to spin back one of your opponent's cards, and go in second, it does a lot of work. I've usually just tried to get into Monk, and then it just does its effect in graveyard. And then to wrap up the Tenyi monsters, I play 2 Adhara. Adhara is great because once you banish it in the graveyard, if you control a non-effect monster, of course, that's all their effects. You can just recycle your worm monsters, which is good for the grind game. So for the rest of the Tenyi package, I play 3 Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. It's just great to be able to dump a worm, and then if you control a non-effect monster, you can add a Tenyi monster too. So it's really good at extending and just kind of keep going with the deck. And for the last 2 cards in the Tenyi lineup, I play 2 Heavenly Dragon Cycle. This card's amazing. It dodges Imperm, dodges Effect Veil, or anything that targets really. You can just kind of chain that to it. You tribute a worm monster, and then you can add a worm monster from deck to hand. So that's it for my Tenyi lineup. I know a lot of people have been adding up the water one to the deck, but I just kind of like where I've been at with that, and I just think it's perfect like this. So let's move on to the rest of the deck. So for the very last monsters in the deck, I only played 2 Protoss. I know a lot of people playing 1, I like playing 2. There are no hand traps in this deck. I like to do the board break in case I have to go second. So I'll let them waste as many resources as they can, and then I'll just blow them out. Next I play 2 Pot of Desires. I know 3 is better, I just like 2. I've always been playing 2 Pot of Desires ever since Salamangreat. Next I play 2 Forbidden Chalice, 3 Dark Ruler No More, and 3 Imperm. So yeah, I mainly go for the board break, and then, Imperm can help out starting off. Yeah, other than that, that's kind of it for the main deck. We can just move on to the extra deck then. So moving on to the extra deck, very standard stuff. I play 1 Shaman of the Tenyi and 2 Monk. I wouldn't change this at all. I think this is perfect. Shaman does come up, it can revive your war monsters. Only problem is you can't use effects of monsters special summon from the extra deck except Tenyi monsters, so you kind of get locked out like that. So moving on to level 8 of the deck, I play 1 Dragite, 1 Borreload Savage, 1 Geomathematic Magma. This card is actually pretty nuts. A lot of people were not expecting me to play this. I know I didn't get to showcase it in the live duel, but using this is actually pretty cool. It blows out 3 cards technically, and since I play Dark Ruler No More, I can stop all the monster effects. I'll just beat over a monster and I can just blow up 2 cards. It's amazing. Then I play 1 Cyframe Lord Omega, and then of course I play the 2 Chixiao. Chixiao is amazing, I love that card. And that kind of wraps it up for the 8. I do play a slight Yang Xing package. I play 1 Yazi, 1 Boxia, and 1 Chaofeng. I only play 1 Boxia. I haven't ever needed 2. This has not come up. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know how I feel about Chaofeng. It's come up like I think once in the entire time I played Swordsoul. I know it's a good card, so I've been keeping it in here, but I don't know. I feel like it's nice to have it as backup and a good security, but I've just never ever felt like I should go into it. But I know, I'm definitely wrong about that. I'll keep it in the extra deck for quite a while. I'll still play it and see where it goes, but yeah. Other than that, the higher level Synchros, I play 1 Chingying, 1 Ruddy Rose, and 1 Baron de Fleur. So, I think these are pretty self-explanatory. Great Omnigate and can target a card in the field and pop it. Can banish all cards from the graveyard, so the Outlook matchup is fantastic using this card. And then 1 Chingying, which is great because once you're in a grind game like in the live duel, where we're both just kind of, drawing cards, and hopefully we can just keep going, but we just, don't really advance or we're at a stalemate, card comes in handy. I can just force it with Chixiao negate, and then against Phantom Knights, that was perfect because, you have to proc the Fog Blade, and then he triggers too after that. Yeah, he does some good work, and I love the card. But yeah, that's it for the Swordsoul deck profile, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys would like to see some combos and all that, just leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and... oh, I have a Discord too. I mean, I'm slightly active on it. Not as much as I used to be still, but, you can just come in there. I'll ask for opinions. I'm still working on Road to Mastery. Gotta get some more duels in there, and we have episode 1 come out. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.